This election cannot be like the other ones, for we do not live in ordinary times.
Correct.
The world is changing, and so must our policies.
That was Florida Senator Marco Rubio just hours ago in Cleveland, in town for tomorrow night's big GOP debate. Following his campaign launch in April, Senator Rubio received high marks for his commanding speech and saw strong poll numbers in the weeks to follow. In recent weeks, however, those numbers have dipped some, leaving some political media outlets asking if the senator has a problem on his hands. Joining me here tonight, Florida Senator and presidential candidate Marco Rubio. This is what I love, Senator Rubio.
Yeah.
This is what they're wondering whether you, I love this. This is America today. They're wondering whether your message of optimism and hope is just not connecting with the voters. They're seriously saying you need to connect more with people's anger.
Well, obviously there's things that are wrong in this country. We have to acknowledge it, but this is a great country. It can be greater, and that's what the campaign is about. We need a country that fulfills its potential, and we're not. And so my message has been that from the beginning. It's been that way for 10 or 12 years. I believe this is the greatest country in the world. I wouldn't trade places with any other country.
Do you think that's what's happening? I don't want to make this about Trump, but do you think that's what's happening with Trump, that he's doing that because he's mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore?
Like I said, I'm not a pundit. I'm a candidate. I'm running for office. All I can do is tell people my message, who I am, what I would do if elected, and then people get to decide. And I don't think they're ready to decide. Half the country's on vacation, literally. And so this is just the ups and downs of these campaigns.
Is that the half that supports you? Because your numbers did fall.
That's a good question, Megyn. Now, these polls go up and down. I've been higher than those numbers. I've been lower than those numbers. I'm not worried about a poll right now. I am more concerned about whether we are being consistent in our message, communicating it to people, helping people understand not just who I am, but why I'm running. And that, to me, is what's important at this stage.
Talk about the money, because one of the things that they say, may be problematic for you is you've raised a total of about $45 million so far. Jeb Bush has raised a total of $114 million. And that's important in politics.
Yeah, it is. The question is not how much you raise. The question is, do you raise enough to be able to communicate your message? And we're confident that we will. Now, we're not going to be the leading fundraiser in this race. And that we understood that going in. And so did the other candidates. More?
Trump is on TV every night.
Well, again, these campaigns, like I said, these are long journeys. There are going to be ups and downs along the way. Tomorrow night's a big night. A lot of people, for the first time, are going to start to tune into this campaign seriously. But after tomorrow night, there's going to be other debates and other twists and turns in the road. So I'm not worried about one day, 1 week, or 1 month. It's really about the long term.
Sorry, how are you preparing now? What do you do?
The truth is that when you've been both, involved in the issues of the day, debating those, and also out there on the stump, you've been answering these questions for a while.
You haven't been answering these questions.
Well, maybe no. The topics, I think, are the topics we've been talking about for a while. And I think what's a real advantage is if you know what you believe and you've talked about it in the past, it's a lot easier to communicate.
Are you going to dodge and weave? Do you think you'll really answer the questions?
No, I like to answer questions. I think people deserve it.
Yep.
We're choosing the president of the United States here. This is not a county commission race. It's the most important political job in the world, and it deserves the scrutiny and the attention it's going to get, not just tomorrow night, but in the weeks and months to come.
Are there any nerves, though? You're only human.
Yeah, sure. Look, I've never done this before. I've never run for president. This is a big stage. I wouldn't call it nerves. I certainly think there's an excitement about being a part of something like this.
We have nerves as the moderators. Brett, Chris, and I talk about how asking, and we have the questions written down. Yeah. We know what they are. You have the hard job.
Well, I wouldn't say nerves in terms of fear, but certainly nerves in terms of understanding this is a pretty big deal, that you get to be a part of this, that you get to talk to the country about its future. Very few Americans ever get a chance to do what the 10 of us and the others that are on the stage tomorrow are going to do. That's a pretty exciting opportunity.
So you want to deliver your message, I get that, but what's the one thing you want people to take away about Marco Rubio?
Well, I have a debt to this country I'll never repay. This is not just the nation I was born in. It literally changed the history of my family. And the reason why I entered public service, the reason why I'm running for president, is I want this to continue to be a country where people can do for their children what my parents did for me. The purpose of my parents' life was to give me the chance to do all the things they never could. That makes us different from the rest of the world. And the reason I'm running for president is I want this to continue to be that kind of country.
That's nice. I hope I didn't steal your closing statement for tomorrow.
I've said it so many times before that.
All right, well, they may hear it again tomorrow night at about 11 o'clock. Great to see you.
Thank you. Look forward to see you tomorrow.
All the best.